And in that moment, the silence fell over the battlefield, broken only by the whisper of a blade against skin. This is the story of scalping, not just an act of violence, but a tapestry of honor, survival, and sorrow. For the full experience, set your playback to 1.25x speed. Let's step into history together. What if everything you thought you knew about scalping was only half the truth? Was it merely a brutal act of savagery, as old stories claim, or did it carry a deeper meaning, spiritual, cultural, even sacred? And who truly fanned its flames, the native peoples of this land or the newcomers who offered gold for blood? Today, we unravel these questions, peeling back layers of history with surprising truths and raw human stories, grounded in archaeological records and the whispers of the past. Picture a young Arikara warrior, barely 18, his heart pounding as he steps onto the Missouri River's banks in 1325 AD. His name is Running Wolf, and tonight, he must prove his courage. His tribe, pressed by drought and rival clans, faces starvation. The enemy village looms across the river, its earth lodges glowing faintly under the stars. To claim a scalp is to claim honor, to show he can protect his people. But as his knife traces the fallen foe's crown, his hands tremble. Pride battles guilt in his chest. This is scalping's paradox, an act of violence woven with cultural weight. Scalping, the removal of the scalp with hair attached, wasn't born in a vacuum. According to a 2019 study from the University of South Dakota, over 90% of the 486 victims at the Crow Creek Massacre, amid a 14th century tragedy, bore scalping marks. Men, women, even children, their skulls etched with circular cuts, tell a story of total war, likely sparked by competition for dwindling resources during a brutal drought. But to call it savage is to miss the point. Scalping wasn't just about death. It was about power, prestige, and survival in a world where every resource was a fight. Have you ever judged a culture without knowing its story? Drop a comment below, we read every one. Let's explore why scalping wasn't what it seemed. Now, imagine a Plains Indian woman, her hand steady as she prepares for a scalp dance. Her name is Morning Star, and the scalp she holds isn't a trophy of cruelty but a sacred offering. In her tribe, scalps were believed to carry the enemy's spirit, a way to honor the dead and appease their ghosts. According to anthropologist George Friederici's 1907 work, scalping held deep spiritual significance for many tribes, from the southeast to the plains. It was a ritual, a war honor, sometimes taken from the living to prove unmatched bravery. Yet, scalping wasn't unique to Native Americans. Archaeological evidence, like a 5,000-year-old skull from Sweden, shows scalping in ancient Europe. The Scythians, the Persians, even the Romans practiced it. So why the stereotype? Because history is written by the victors, and the victors needed a villain. In native cultures, the scalp lock, a small braid adorned with paint or beads, was sacred, symbolizing a warrior's life force. To touch it was an insult, to take it was to claim their essence. Let's step into the shoes of a Dutch settler in 1640s New Amsterdam. His name is Peter, a farmer barely scraping by. Governor Willem Kieft offers a bounty, gold for the scalps of enemy or natives. Peter hesitates, his conscience heavy, but his starving children push him forward. He joins a raid, and the act he commits changes him forever. As noted in a 2023 article from oldwest.org, scalping predated Columbus, with evidence from the Middle Mississippian culture showing circular incisions on skulls. But European bounties, like Kieft's, poured fuel on the fire. By the 1700s, scalps became currency, escalating intertribal conflicts and turning sacred rituals into grim transactions. The Crow Creek Massacre, detailed in a 1993 study by Pierre Willie and Thomas Emerson, reveals scalping's pre-European roots. 2 survivors' skulls showed healed scalping wounds, proof that the practice wasn't always fatal and long predated colonial contact. But bounties, like those during the 1755 Phipps Proclamation in Massachusetts, offered up to $12,000 in today's dollars for Penobscot scalps, twisting a cultural act into a tool of genocide. When have you seen history distorted to villainize one group? Share your thoughts below, your perspective matters. Scalping's story isn't black and white. It was a ritual of honor, a marker of survival, and yes, a brutal act of war. but it was also a shared human practice, amplified by greed and colonial ambition. Consider Robert McGee, scalped by Sioux warriors in 1864 as a child. He survived, carrying the scars into adulthood, a living testament to resilience. His story, preserved in historical records, reminds us that survival isn't just physical, it's cultural, emotional, spiritual. By understanding scalping's roots, we strip away stereotypes. It wasn't savagery but a complex act shaped by context. Native tribes like the Arikara saw scalping as a path to honor, Europeans saw it as profit. Both were human, flawed, and caught in history's crucible. And in that moment, as the firelight flickers on faces sharing stories, we see the truth: history isn't a monument but a mirror. It reflects our capacity for violence and our hunger for meaning. The scalps taken at Crow Creek, the bounties paid in colonial towns, the dances under starlit skies, they're all threads in a tapestry we're still weaving. Let's learn from them. Let's honor the resilience of those like Robert McGee, Morning Star, and Running Wolf, who lived through history's storms. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like, comment, and subscribe to keep these stories alive. Together, we can face history's complexities and build a future that doesn't repeat its mistakes.